Hello everyone. Today I just wanted to share a quick-ish video with you comparing my ultramarine blues. Now I did an ultramarine comparison last year sometime, but since then my collection has expanded somewhat, so I thought it might be time to do another one. Okay, let's get started. So first up we have Rembrandt's Ultramarine Deep. This is the ultramarine I use most often. There's no particular reason for that, it's just available for a good price here. Rembrandt also have a French ultramarine, but I haven't tried that yet. Yeah, it's a very good quality paint with some nice granulation going on. Next we have Mijello Mission Gold Ultramarine Deep. This is the only multi-pigment ultramarine in this comparison. It has some PV15 ultramarine violet mixed in with it. It used to bother me that it wasn't a single pigment paint, but in actual use it doesn't make any difference to me. Again, it's a very good high quality paint and it's available at a great price here in Asia. Next we have another Mijello Mission Gold paint. This time it's the Ultramarine Light. So this one is Mijello's single pigment version. As you can probably see, it has less of a violet undertone. I do think I prefer this one to the Ultramarine Deep, but there's not that much difference between them. Next up is Holbein Ultramarine Deep. This is another ultramarine that I've used quite often. Yeah, I've always been happy with it. It's really, really nice. I have also tried the Ultramarine Light in the past. Yeah, both of them, yeah, they're really highly pigmented, very good quality. This might actually be my favorite, I think. Next we have M. Graham Ultramarine Blue. Again, excellent high quality paint. But unlike the previous four, this one is quite active wet and wet. You can see here it moves much more. I do like this paint, but it doesn't seem to granulate as much as the others. Next we have Vinci Ultramarine Blue. This one seems to be quite violet leaning, at least when it's wet. I don't see much granulation either. It does flow quite nicely on the wet paper though. Next we have Schmincke Ultramarine Finest. I believe the pigment in Ultramarine Finest is more finely milled, and as a result you get much less granulation. So it's a great option if you don't like or you don't want granulation in your paintings. I still feel like this one granulates more than the M. Graham though. Next is Schmincke French Ultramarine. So French ultramarine is kind of the opposite of the finest. It's much more heavily granulating and it leans a bit more violet. Schmincke does have a third version of ultramarine. I think it's just called Ultramarine Blue. It's made of a mix of PB15 and PB29. I've never tried it though. Next is Winsor & Newton's French Ultramarine. This one doesn't lean as towards violet as much as the Schmincke. Doesn't seem to granulate quite as much either. It is a very nice ultramarine though. Yeah. Winsor & Newton have another ultramarine as well. It's called Ultramarine Green Shade. I don't know how it compares to this one, but guessing it's probably cooler and less granulating. Now on to the last of my ultramarines. We have Roman Schmincke Aquarius French ultramarine. Okay, this one is definitely more violet leaning, and it granulates nicely as well. Yeah, this one's more like the Schmincke French ultramarine. Yeah, this is another beautiful paint. It flows quite nicely on the wet paper too. Okay then, that's all of them swatched out. And here they are in daylight when completely dry. So what did you think of them side by side? I think they're all excellent quality. I mean, they should be because they're all supposed to be artist grade. I think it's quite clear to see that the Mijello, Holbein Ultramarine Deeps and the Schmincke and Roman Schmincke French Ultramarines are the most violet leaning, with all the others being kind of similar in coolness. Of course, the French Ultramarines show the most granulation, though I would say all of them actually show quite nice granulation, apart from maybe the Schmincke Finest and the M. Graham. If I was to pick a favourite from these, I'd probably go with the Holbein or the Rembrandt. The Winsor & Newton French Ultramarine would also be a top pick, but as it's so much more expensive, it would come in third for me. I do like the Schmincke French Ultramarine as well. It's really beautiful, but sometimes I find the granulation to be a bit too much, so I probably wouldn't use it all that often. So which is your favourite ultramarine blue? Not just from this 10, but from, any brands. Are there any that you recommend I try in the future? Let me know in the comments. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye bye.